What's up, y'all? I am coming to you having just seen the verdict of guilty on all three accounts of Derek Chauvin in the murder of George Floyd. And there's some, I don't feel celebration. First of all, there's nothing to celebrate. George Floyd is dead and will remain dead. Um, and Dante Wright is dead, and Adam Toledo is dead, and Breonna Taylor is dead, and no amount of guilty verdicts will ever bring them back. Right? And this system can't do anything but punish you, for, and I think that's part of the complication of this is I'm like, they're not punishing Derek Chauvin for killing George Floyd. They're punishing him for doing it in a way that made everybody mad. Because the United States finds ways to kill Black people every single day and in ways that that the world deems totally acceptable, and have no intentions on charging anyone for our deaths, for the wild ass, developing nation maternal mortality rates of Black women, for the shortened lifespan, for the hypertension and heart attacks and strokes from living under these conditions, for the mental health and the addictions, for all the ways. A rapper, Royce the 5'9", did a video the other day about DMX, and really in it he was talking about, not under the ways in which we don't understand addiction, but also the society is filled with ways that they encourage Black people to kill themselves, right? The entire system is guilty. And I think one of the things that always unnerves me, and it's part of the reason why there's no celebration in this verdict for me, is that the system is designed to say that it worked no matter what it did, right? Like, now the system is like, look, the system works. We had a multiracial jury, and we found him guilty on all charges. The system works. So shut up and leave us alone while we continue to kill people with impunity, And thinking that you will go to jail, like if jail deterred crime, the U.S. wouldn't have crime because the U.S. has more people in jail than anybody in the world. Jail doesn't stop crime. So jail's not going to stop police from killing Black people, because it's not what jail does. It's not what the prison industrial complex does. It doesn't stop crime. Police don't stop crime. We stop crime by creating new conditions so that the conditions that foster crime are less appealing, or not useful. And not less appealing because you'll go to jail, but less appealing because what you need can be met without crime, without harm, because we actually have a world that takes care of people. I hope that this verdict brings George Floyd's family some peace. And I hope that we will collectively resist the inclination to call this justice. It's not. It's not justice. A just world is a world where George Floyd is alive and receives the resources and assistance that he needs to thrive and care for his family and care for himself. That's justice, right? Justice is a society that defunds the police and places that money in communities and in the resources that we need to help us thrive. That's justice. This isn't justice. You know, it's not. It's just the bone that's available to us. And so they tossed it this one time. And the system is fine. Has always been fine with throwing one body in the den, right? And then absolving itself of any greater responsibility to you. It did what it said it was going to do. And that's it. So I invite us, I implore us to just recognize it for what it is. One person who was punished for something that they did that was horrible and deplorable. But it's not justice, and don't call it justice. It doesn't change this system, and we would be foolish to think that it did. And that our work is nowhere near done. That creating a world, you know, like all of it, all of this system, all of the criminal justice system is part of the same, you know, it's all part of the same team. It's all part of the same band. They play the same song. And so just because the, you know, just because the horn section got the notes right today doesn't change the fact that the rest of the band is very off and the sound is still trash. Right? Because they work together. They work in concert. Right? You know, it is, you know, it is, there is relief in not being gaslit, right? Like having the entire structure say you didn't see what you saw, because that's basically what, that's the thing it is that we're wrestling with when these verdicts come. It's like, so you're just going to sit here and tell me that I'm making up the death I just saw, like that I'm imagining it, right? And fair enough. Like we can take some solace in this moment. We were not in this one respite where the system isn't gaslighting us, but please understand that it plans to continue to do so ad nauseum, in perpetuity, until we create something different. May George Floyd rest in power. May Daunte Wright rest in power. May Breonna Taylor rest in power. May Adam Toledo rest in power. May every life lost to this system's villainy rest and guide us to a new and better world. Ashe and amen.